Welcome to MMA Fancast. My name is Luke Pace, and welcome back to everyone who's already a subscriber to the channel. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe so you can see more great interviews, including the one coming at you right now with the new 125-pound flyweight female amateur champion of Superfly Promotions, Coach Karli Jo Thomas. Welcome back to the show, Karli.
How you doing, Luke?
I should call you champ. Look at that belt. Talk us through it. We're so pumped you came on. For people that want to go back, literally the last interview I did was with you Thursday or Friday. I think Thursday going into your fight Saturday. The fight came together on about 3.5 weeks notice. You were kind enough to come on during your weight cut. You said that you were happy to be fighting at flyweight at your weight that you want to do. So walk us through it. How did everything go? What was the result? Obviously, we know you won. I know how you won, but walk us through that for those that want to know more.
Yeah, so fight went great. Obviously, I was able to get the finish, rear naked choke in the first round. Honestly, that I told Justin Friday, like while I was laying on the couch all day trying to cut weight, I'm like, it's gonna be first round RNC. Like I'm calling it now. So definitely cool to see that kind of come together. But like the fight in itself, I know in the last interview I talked about how I wanted to kind of like put my game together a little bit better. And I definitely think that I was able to do that this fight. I felt real comfortable on my feet. Didn't rush anything, didn't feel I guess pressured to shoot. I kind of shot by choice because I wanted to, not because I felt like threatened or uncomfortable on my feet. So that was something that I really wanted to fill in there. So really happy about that. Couple good exchanges on the feet. Like I didn't throw too much. I was just waiting to see kind of what she was doing, making some reads, just feeling the process out. But threw a nice 1-2-3 combination and got like close enough to get into the clinch, put her on the cage. A little bit of cage work. It didn't really take much. Went to kind of like a body lock, not quite a body lock, but pulled her off the cage. Was able to take her down, and kind of just like work my game from there. Pressure, make her kind of start to expose her back, give me what I wanted there. Came kind of up in the turtle position, threw a couple body shots, took her back, straight to body triangle, flatten her out, couple ground and pound, rear naked choke. Like that was pretty much the fight. So yeah, everything felt super smooth. I felt real clean. Just like the whole day, like after weigh in, rehydrate on Saturday. That whole process went really good. This was like the first time I actually like had to like cut weight. Usually I'm like I'm like on weight like when I signed a contract. This one really wasn't that way. So I actually like had to cut weight a little bit, like do a water load, cut water, cut calories, all that kind of stuff. So it was really good for me to kind of go through that too. So Saturday I just felt after we got rehydrated, felt super good. Just like warming up with Chris, I was flowing good. Everything felt sharp. Like pummeling with Justin. Everything felt really good. My nerves were like obviously everybody's like nervous, but I was like able to like channel that, and yeah, everything worked out exactly really how I envisioned it to happen.
Well, that is exactly what you were talking about on the interview with me before, that you felt like you've been training. Justin is known to always be in training camp. You're always in training camp, even though you didn't really have a set fight. But getting to your weight, feeling really good there. We know that it was a title fight and also main event. What was it like with that status and that pressure? I mean, I think that's something that's another accomplishment, not only the belt, but also kind of managing the build up. Justin's used to fighting late on cards, but now you are. Like, what was that like mentally being the main event?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a little bit different. But oddly, I just felt like it was like didn't really matter to me. I, I'm kind of just like, we're here to fight regardless. Like, I'm not coming here to lose. So it doesn't matter what kind of label they put on it. Every fight to me is kind of the same, like same mission, same end goal. Kind of go out there, perform, get the win. So this is, things like the main event, a title. It's just like something kind of special. But regardless, to me, a loss is, if I lose, it's still a loss on my record, and if I win, it's a win on my record. So that's really just what I try to focus on. Keep the same game plan. Don't let that extra the spice to it like stress me out, because it's unnecessary energy to have.
Sure. And it's also controlling the controllables, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
Focus on, well, you can control, you can't really control if your first fight or last fight. If your first fight on the card, it's just as important to get the win as if you're the main event. This does make you your amateur record 5-2 with 3 fight in a row now. So on a nice win streak. What do you have to say, kind of like with everything coming together and you really building on this streak, particularly as you come into, we've talked about it several times on this show, you come into being the first ever head women's wrestling coach for Waynesburg University. I have to think you on a good fight clip and a nice 3 fight win also helps you with just the ability to be confident and kind of coach from a position of you now being a champion, you now being on a good run in MMA. How do you think that connects?
You mean like with coaching and just kind of like how things are going?
Sure.
Yeah. So I definitely think me being able to actually be a coach now, it's making me hold myself to a different standard. Like not exact, like I don't want to say people, if I go out there and lose, people are gonna think I'm incapable to do my job.
Yeah.
But it kind of could be that way. If I'm out here losing more than I win, and I'm not performing and being successful, it definitely, I think, says something about my skill set and what I'm capable of doing and teaching. So and also just being able to coach now, I'm learning a lot about that, which I think is really helping me like pay attention to what I'm doing when I'm in the gym. Like, obviously we're gonna go in and work hard every day, but am I actually like picking up techniques and applying them and doing them actually correctly and drilling with a purpose, and just all of that little stuff that like I always knew before, but it's just now it's like I really am starting to understand why that's so important. So I think like coaching is definitely changing my life all the way around, but it's definitely changing like my game, my mental game, and so I'm expecting, like I always expected a lot out of myself, but it's even more now. Like there's really becoming a lot of goals that I have that I think I need to perform really well in all areas of my life. So
It makes perfect sense to me. I'm excited to follow you both as a fighter and as the head coach for Waynesburg Women's Wrestling, which is going to be super super exciting to kind of follow your first year coming up. So for you, is it time to continue to do both MMA training and coaching, or is there a time where you're going to focus a little bit more? Like, do you kind of know how the schedule is going to work? I know. People come to campus, mid-August, but I don't know when the NCAA limits like number of training and how. So I don't know, like, when do you go in season for wrestling?
yeah, so we'll start in October, like be right in the
Oh,
beginning of October, pretty much. So I guess with my goal with like that and fighting, like how I'm gonna kind of like work it out is I really like to fight one more time before wrestling season
sure.
starts. And obviously, like I'm still gonna be like training and stuff all during wrestling season. I'm gonna be on the wrestling mat 5 days a week now when you really think about it. So I mean, I'm always gonna be, still in the gym and everything. I'm not sure about like fighting and stuff yet. I'm definitely like really like especially this season, I want to really focus on the wrestling team and just like doing that really good, like correctly, and putting my effort into that. But I still, like I said, I still plan to train and everything. I do want to definitely focus on that because that's important. That's really important. It's more important to me. It's important to make that program successful. So I don't want to take away from that, like just because I'm focusing on like a fight or something. So we'll just see how it goes, really,
Sure.
like fight wise. Like if I feel like like I'll be comfortable when I can take a fight and do everything and take care of everything that I need to, maybe. But I'm definitely gonna, until at least for this season, just focus on that for the most part, and we'll see what happens.
Well, that makes sense game plan wise, that the first year is always the most important to kind of set things in motion, set the foundation. Plus, if the wrestling season starts October and I know it wraps up in March, that's not, that focus isn't really that long of a time to be able to focus in on wrestling and then basically have half a year for everything else that you do. And of course, this is a full-time position, so it's something you're going to be working on year round. So obviously, huge congratulations to you and to everybody at the Mad Factory and also All American MMA, because I know you came from there, and Chris Williams and everybody. So just a huge congratulations to you. Can't wait to see where you go, both as a coach and as a fighter from here. And I love saying champ. Karli Jo Thomas, just really honored to have you on. So thanks so much for coming back on the show. You've been listening to Luke Basin with the newly minted Superfly Promotions flyweight women's amateur MMA champion, coach of Waynesburg University women's wrestling, Karli Jo Thomas. It's a long intro, but thanks so much for coming on the show.
All right, thank you, Luke. I appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
You got it. Take care, champ.
Yep.